going to be the effect, and why or if Prop 19 fails, should we, what is something to keep the morale of drug policy reformers up throughout the next coming years?
I've been in the drug policy reform movement now ever since 1992, so I know a lot of the people, and almost universally, most people in the drug policy reform movement, including me, thought this was not a good idea. It's just not the right time. Let's wait until 2012. A lot of, honestly, younger voters will come out in a presidential election where they wouldn't come off in a non-presidential election, and let's just wait and then give it a shot then. Richard Lee is, I don't know how many of you have heard of Oaksterdam University. It's in Oakland. They educate people about how to put in medical marijuana dispensaries and what the laws are and a number of other things. And he just decided that this is what he wanted to do. So he spent a whole bunch of money, $1 million, something like that, to get this put on the ballot, and then he's funded a fair amount of this. But it surprised a lot of people, honestly, including me, that it's going to be close. Some of the polls show that we are ahead. I haven't seen any showing we're behind, but it's going to be close. What's going to happen if it doesn't pass? I think that's pretty straightforward. Now, the morale is increasing. We've already won the election in that way because people are starting to talk about this. My goodness, you know, I've been kind of out there. I was on CNN yesterday. I taped 3 shows yesterday, including somebody from London, for heaven's sake. I was on Australian 60 Minutes. I mean, people around the world are talking about this. I was in Atlanta 2 weeks ago at Emory University. They had a forum actually paid for by the federal government, and they invited me to come, which kind of surprised me. But I did. And they had a lot of people from Mexico, attorney generals, people in the judiciary, people like that. I looked them square in the eye and said, you in your country should legalize heroin, should legalize cocaine, should legalize marijuana. Our country is so arrogant. We are looking at you saying you should do more to solve our drug problem. And you're the ones that are dying. You're the ones that are being killed. And it's all, of course, because of the drug money that we spend that goes down there and results in all of this. So people around the world are looking, they all knew what Proposition 19 is. And almost to a person, they came up to me afterwards and said, thank you for that. This is a major election. And if it doesn't pass now, it'll be on the ballot again. We'll learn from some experience. This isn't worded as well as in some ways that I would like. We'll learn from this experience. It very likely will be on the ballot again in 2012, and I'm pretty sure it'll pass then, but it'll probably pass now with your help. I'm going to take one more question, and again, I will be the last one out of the room. If any of the rest of you have any questions, I'd love to be able to address them. Yes, Kyle?
Now, I'm not going to hypothetically speak about this. When California passes this on November 2nd, how will this, do you think, will affect other drug laws? I mean, you know, this conversation is about prohibition in general. I know we focused a lot on Prop 19 with the marijuana issue, but how will this encourage our federal government to take aim on other drug issues such as, you know, cocaine, methamphetamine, other drugs? We
will learn from our experience. Now, how would this affect other laws? I think we were all, I'm older than you are, we were all raised with decades of rhetoric. You know, I was raised without thinking about it particularly to equate heroin with bad, with evil, with prison. I mean, just it's a rote reaction. The same pretty much is true with marijuana. So we're fighting decades of rhetoric. What we're doing now cannot stand scrutiny. It cannot stand the light of day. And so we're making progress in this discussion. And I tell people, because honestly, if I were king, you know, King James is still trying, I would probably have a government package store for heroin, cocaine, and marijuana for adults. No advertising, brown packaging, no specials, any of this sort of stuff. But by word of mouth, if you wanted to get it, you might as well. Then I'll hold you accountable for your actions. That's still my view. But now people ask me that question, and I acknowledge it, but who cares what I think? Let's start with marijuana. Take each drug on its own merits. Let's start with marijuana. We can learn. Then we can decide what, if anything, we should do next. I'm convinced that we should put in the heroin maintenance programs everywhere. I've yet to hear any articulable reason why we shouldn't do this, except just this, you're sending the wrong message to our children nonsense. So that, I think, is the second thing that we should do. Needle exchange programs. heroin maintenance programs, and legalize hemp and strictly regulate and control marijuana. And I think the country is ready for it. Honestly, what's going to happen is, this is one of the most important elections I've ever considered. If we pass Prop 19 in California, other states will see well that it's working, and they will line up to do the same thing. And then, now this is just my opinion, but 85% of everybody in the United States of America that uses any form of illicit substance whatsoever uses only marijuana. So if we were to regulate and control marijuana for adults, and regulate all of this and take those people out of the criminal justice system, the sheer numbers of everybody else in the country using every other illegal drug combined would not justify this colossal bureaucracy that we now have to fight the war on drugs. And so we would start adopting other approaches. Other approaches, by the way, that would work far better, including holding people accountable for their actions. So I see Prop 19 as really the beginning of the end of drug prohibition in our country. It's a critically important election. I'm going to leave you with one final story. And that is that there was a man who said, you know, when my grandmother turned 72 years of age, she started walking 5 miles a day. Now she's 76 and we haven't the faintest idea where she is. Well, in a lot of ways, for whatever reason, we passed our laws of drug prohibition. And I fully suggest to you that we haven't the remotest idea where these laws have taken us. It's time we step back, that we look at what we have done, look at where we're going, and look at what we could do better. Again, my view is completely we couldn't do it any worse if we tried. All we need to do is legitimize the discussion. And if we allow ourselves to discuss this area, I guarantee you we will change away from it. And I further guarantee you one more thing, and that is 2 years after we pass Prop 19, or we have a program to change materially our drug problem or drug policy in the United States, everybody, regardless of their political philosophy, religious or otherwise, everybody will link arms and look back absolutely aghast and astonished that we could have perpetuated such a failed system for so long. It's time, it's within our grasp, we need your help. Thank you for the opportunity of sharing information with you. Good luck to us all. Take care. Thank you.
Let's give one more round of applause for Judge Jim Gray, everybody. Make all of California. 2 K 47.